Welcome to Kate Was Here, an improvised storytelling experiment written and performed by Doug Banks and Kat Blackard. To support this and other surprise RPG experiences, head to patreon.com/omniversemedia.
She'll head back to the McFly house, which is like over in Hilldale, which actually is not far from where you need to go.
Okay.
So it actually sort of happily works out that way. She can take you inside. The house has very little changed on the inside from when you were last there. It looks like life came to like a halt, you know. She says, "Okay, so I want to know if, since you're going back, and I've had that information for you, for a while. I'm assuming that if you're going to be making any changes, you're going to have to go to some of these dates and times, and if you have to go to 1984, I was wondering, could you do something for me, or maybe I could go with you, to take care of some things that I wanted to do."
Well, Jennifer, as I'm sure you know, time travel is extremely dangerous. But tell me everything. And
I understand. You have, but just believe me when I say I don't want to risk changing anything major. I just want to. What I would like to do, if you know what, if you can do it, is, and she's gonna reach into like her purse that she's had this prepared because she's been waiting for this night for like a long time.
No doubt. Yeah.
So she reaches
when
into her
did she
purse.
get this? 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she pulls out a paper envelope, and written in pen, like on the front, is an address that you don't recognize. Has the return address of an address that you don't recognize, and there's no stamp on it. And but the fact that this is such an old-fashioned mailing thing, like, what the heck? She goes, "If I give you this, can you two things? One, can you promise to not open it? And two, can you just put it in a mailbox in 1984 for me?"
Jennifer, I would love to. I'm so grateful to you, but I need to know exactly what this is.
This is a letter that I'm writing to someone that I know as an adult, me now, that Marty and I will meet in like 1986, and it will hopefully start a relationship just a little bit sooner, and maybe get things easier for Marty at that time. And you're looking at her like you're not really helping. You know,
yeah,
this is
Jennifer. You're being so like, okay. Let me put this in perspective here. So I said all those crazy things about Biff Tannen being president, right? So all that stuff happened as a chain reaction to some events that happened. My entire existence was created by someone taking something from 2016 and putting it back in the past and changing all of time. So that happened, and then I went back in time. And I mean, this is really complicated, but basically, eventually Doc and I meet up, and we fix time, and everything happens the way you know about it. But the world that I came from, it was 2016, and it didn't have flying cars, and none of the shit was invented in the 90s. None of that happened. And it was better, and that's great. But also, I had, I was an only child when I was born, but now I have an older brother, and there's two of me. What I'm saying here is that if you're doing something to alter your own timeline, you need to understand that you're altering the timeline of not just yourself, but also your children, and you have no idea what this could do.
Well, you're going back to fix things, right?
Yes, in a big way. Yes, it could. What we're doing could change everything, but we know that it's specifically for the sole purpose of preventing a global catastrophe that effectively ends the world. So that's why we're doing it at all. And ending the trash storm and all that other stuff, it's all cause and effect. It's all a part of the same cleanup job that we're doing.
She says, I understand, and I am fully in support of that. I'm just saying,
You need to understand, like, Doc plays everything close to the chest. He doesn't want to tell anybody about anything. He doesn't want to say anything. He doesn't do anything. I am willing to change the future, and I am willing to change the past. It all, I don't know.
She says, okay, I'm sorry, I just didn't want to scare you, and I don't know how it works. I just thought that if you were going back, I'll tell you, it's after Marty came back from 1955, and I saw him, and Doc took us away into after we made it back. Marty had decided he wanted to finally send in his audition tape to this record company that was holding like open auditions, and you could send in things. So this is a letter to RNG Records. Marty is going to send his tape in 1985, but by the time he sends it, but after he'd gone through everything and made that decision, it was too late. We did meet with the people at RNG. I was there with him. I was his biggest fan, cheering him on the entire time. But they said that if only that he'd reached out like a year sooner, that he may have gotten a record deal, but there was new management and things had changed. And we did form a great relationship with the people there, and that's where Marty started working as a studio musician and eventually worked his way up to being a producer. And I started producing with him, but he never got to achieve his dream, and he beat himself up constantly about he should have just done it sooner, and he was too scared. And I just want to give a heads up to the people that we will know and become friends with at RNG to keep an ear out for this young man named Marty and his band, because the tape is coming and maybe there's a complication. I just want to give them a heads up just to give Marty a shot.
Well, Jennifer, I mean, I think we could probably do one better than that. Because if you're telling ambiguously people you don't know in the music industry what is and isn't going to happen, I mean, they could just easily ignore it, or it could be a reason for them to like avoid Marty altogether. But if we're going back in time and I see him, I'd be more than happy to light a fire under Marty's ass and get him to mail that tape in sooner. Because wouldn't that be better if Marty just mailed the tape in sooner?
Sure, but I worry about whether or not he even has it, if he wants to do it. He kept on trying to he was a perfectionist, and that he knew that was a problem, but only after the fact did he realize that. So if you told him that there was a chance that he should mail it in, I feel that might just make him more of a perfectionist. It might make him more stressed and unable to do it. I don't know, but I do know that if I can speak through this letter in a kind of code using their lingo, that they know that this isn't some random crazy person, but someone who is a working professional. I understand if you're feeling weird about it. She reaches in. She says, I went through my things, and I even got you postage on it is only like 20 cents. I found a quarter from 1980. Here, you can take this and just get a stamp, put it on, just drop it in, and that's all I is all I ask. And just don't fiddle with it.
Doug actually placed a quarter from 1980 on the table.
Yeah. Just for fun. But she's like, I'll even do that. I'll pay for the postage. All you have to do is walk in, just get a stamp, put it in. I know this is asking a lot, and I know it might be a risk.
And Jennifer, I'm sorry for being so intense. I can't even really explain it, what this has all been like. But, look, personally, I don't have any problem with this. I mean, if you're worried about Marty's success and everything, I guess, here's the thing. The life you and Marty have carved out here, it is what it is. And if you're changing Marty's life, and if Marty becomes a rock star, it could be, when I say different, I mean really different. Because I could, if the trash storm doesn't happen, Marty's still alive, and you've got your kids, and things are good. Things are as you know them. But let's say Marty becomes a rock star. That sort of stuff changes people, so they say anyway. Your kids might not be born. Like, you might, maybe, or you'll have different kids completely. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that works, but I do know that that if you are directly manipulating the life of you or the life of your partner, you are taking a serious risk to make something truly miserable happen, or maybe completely. Like it could be good, it could be nice, but there's no way to know. So Marty's success could be amazing, or he could become an alcoholic and die in a drug bender, or be driving a sports car through the streets and smash into a tree.
She says, okay, like you explain all terrible outcomes about loved ones. So she goes, all right, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I just miss him, and I feel bad that he didn't get that shot, and and I worry if I didn't push him enough. I don't know. It's not your problem. I'm sorry I brought it up.
Hey, Jennifer, I'm gonna hold on to this. Maybe I'll send it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Unless you tell me not to.
She says, no. She'll take it. She'll take it from you. She says, don't worry. Just don't. I don't want to risk you getting into trouble, and I didn't want to cause any disruptions.
Jennifer, I'm not concerned about getting into trouble. I'm concerned about you getting into trouble.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm Kate Ritchie. I'm unkillable.
I'm fine. What, did you say you're unkillable?
Yeah.
The DM looks around nervously. But she says, no, I'm sorry. You can forget it. Just forget I said anything. Honestly, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put pressure on you. I know you're trying to save the world, and I understand my problems are really small, very small.
I go to her and I hold her and I'm like. Your problems are very important. Marty McFly and is very important. You are important, and everything is connected. But that's the thing. We're all beautiful, and we're all connected. We just don't have the means to see the true cause and effect of anything. So please, Jennifer, please, whatever you do, do not feel insignificant. Don't. This is...
She says,
it's just really complicated.
She says, I understand. The last thing I want is to make this complicated because you have much more important things to worry about right now. We're talking about if we can stop the trash storm, that might fix everything. I don't know. I just don't know.
Tell you what, Jennifer, if we stop the trash storm and everything goes back to normal, what if I gave this letter to you? Like, we fix everything and I come back to you and I ask if you still want me to do it.
I don't know. And this, you're kind of...
Because the thing is you probably won't have written this.
Yeah. She said, if I wouldn't have written it, then how would you have it? I don't know.
Good question. You can't... It's hard to say. I'm outside of time. Nothing makes a lot of sense.
She said, honestly, I'll be fine. The sooner you can go, the better. We need to fix this. Please stop the trash storm from happening. Just do whatever you can to make things right. Okay. I'll figure it out.
Jennifer, it is going to be okay, and I will see you again in another time.
She says, do you need anything else from me?
I am starving.
She says, okay, let me. I'll get you something. So she'll head into the kitchen and she'll pull down the fruit dispenser.
Hydrate
and
level
everything.
5, please.
Yeah, yeah. And you're like, that technology might be going away anyway, so get it while we can.
Yeah.
So she'll bring
nothing like the crisp taste of a deep dish Pizza Hut pizza, hydrated to level 5.
She goes. She holds up like little silver packets. She goes, do you want a pizza, or do you want Subway, or do you want what would you like?
Let's do a pizza. It's been hundreds of years since I've had a pizza.
Yeah, she'll make you a pizza and put it in there. Hydrate level 4, blop, spits it out, and it's delicious. And she says, "So I'll if you don't need anything else, I think I might get some sleep, and you can show yourself out. I've coded in advance. I've coded your name into the house so you can leave and it'll lock and you can unlock whatever. Just you leave when you want.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. I can't even begin to tell you how this means, all of it.
She says, don't thank me. You're the one who knows what's going on and you're gonna help fix this.
Yeah. What time of night is this?
This has got to be like almost 4 a.m.
4 a.m. Great. Okay. Well, I've been up a long time, but but if I don't do this now, then I'll have to wait a whole other day.
Well, really, how long? Yeah, when you woke up from your last sleep, it was 1885.
Yeah.
And it was around midnight. And you landed about midnight.
I've been up over 24 hours, like without.
I don't know if it's been over 24.
I mean, if I woke up at a normal
if you woke up at like 8 a.m., this is now 4 a.m.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, but close. I've been
Sure.
up a long time.
Sure.
But I want to get this over with. I want to get back to where I'm supposed to be.
What do you want to do?
I can't think of anything that I would need from this time per se. We're gonna do our business, and I'm gonna fill up that Mr. Fusion.
Okay. You want to? I'll do this as. What do you think you put in there? Just random. You go to the junk in the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah. I probably couldn't eat the whole pizza, and I imagine Jennifer didn't necessarily want to put the rest of the pizza
Start
in.
throwing pizza stuff and pizza.
I mean, it's great. It seems like
works.
a waste.
Yeah,
but,
that's what it needs.
I'm not gonna steal her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just like
and I guess I've probably already compared notes to like where Clara's house would be, but
you have a good idea.
yeah.
I think
The good news, I just find a nice open patch of sky, and near enough to it, and I'm sure with a bird's eye view at 8 p.m. at night.
Mm-hmm.
Or 8:30 p.m. to be precise.
Right.
I will find
Figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be great. Yeah, it'll be easy peasy.
So I'll say you step outside. You got the junk with you that you're gonna eat, half the pizza and stuff. Just like I'll say
I'll save a slice for Clara if I.
Yeah. You got to try this. It's called pizza. Like what? It sounds Italian. It's like it is
kind of.
All American now. So I'll say you step out and you open Mr. Fusion. You start whatever the door closed and like locked behind you. It was like goodbye, Kate. Good night. You're like all right, whatever. So you start working on the DeLorean, but then you hear a weird sound. You're not sure if it's the DeLorean or what, or if it's like is it traffic overhead? Like what is this? But you hear this weird sound. It sounds like it's coming from inside the garage because you're parked like right outside.
Okay.
And the sound is like, this sounds familiar, but I don't know. Do you recognize this?
Shit! I got a duck.
You duck?
Yeah.
You can. All right. You duck, and as you're like waiting for like what the hell's going on, and this you see lights coming out from the garage.
Wait, is that the?
And it gets all quiet.
I look around. I look for a refrigerator because Marty was told to put the refrigerator somewhere.
It came from inside this came from inside the garage.
Oh, I assumed I was inside the garage.
No, you were outside.
That's
you were
why
outside.
I ducked. Okay,
yeah.
that's why I ducked.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I run quickly into the garage where the DeLorean is.
You push your thumb against the thing. Well, no, the DeLorean's parked outside because you were leaving.
Right.
You were filling
Okay.
it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so I hop in there.
Yeah. So if you put your thumb on the garage door opens. This is the first time you've been in the garage, and you can see the time chamber sitting there. Smoking, and it even has a couple sparks off of it, and looks like there was like a small fire on it. And
I bat it out with whatever I can find.
Sure, you bat it out.
My jacket, maybe, I don't know.
And yeah, sure, you could just whatever. And it looks like this has been used, and the dials that you see, like the old analog dials on it, say that it was set to November 27th, 1984.
God damn it, Jennifer! God fucking damn it!
And the way this is supposed to work is she's back pretty much instantaneously after being there for 4 hours.
Yeah.
But the machine's burnt out. Like this use of it caused a fire, and it's powered down. It's not working.
Fuck. Okay. I think I know what's happened. I'm gonna go in her house. I'm gonna make sure that she is not here, and that I'm clear that she jumped in there and it was her.
You go through. She's not in the bedroom. She's nowhere. You're Jennifer. Nothing.
Okay.
You can even if you I think after you say Jennifer several times, the computer is like Jennifer is not home.
Yeah, of course she's not. Great. Okay. I get in the DeLorean. I adjust the time circuits, and what? So let me write that down real quick. What was the time on the dial?
November 27th, 1984. The exact time, burnt out. You don't know.
Okay. And we are in... What was here? Do I know what this space was in this neighborhood before?
In the 80s?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Okay. What do I have any like? Is it close to something that I'm familiar with, or
you're
like
more
in the 50s maybe, or
not? I think in the 50s this was nothing. I think in the 80s, you weren't over here in the 80s, so you're not really sure. But you know that this is Hilldale, and Hilldale was like built in the 80s, so maybe it may or may not be here at that time.
Okay, I'm going to get in the DeLorean. I'm going to get up in the sky, and I'm going to fucking blast my way back to November 27th, 1984.
What time?
12 a.m.
Okay.
Because I don't know when the fuck she's going to show up.
Okay. We can say you put in the... And you're like, so think shit's getting serious. So let's do the old travel sequence.
So mad at her.
And you start speeding up. You're gonna do the whole shebang. And you're over Hill Valley. No flying traffic. It's just the only lights are on the ground. It's so where do you want to do? Where would you like to go?
If the street looks clear, I'm gonna try to find some like relatively darkened street, and I'm gonna set down.
Absolutely.
And then I'm gonna drive back to where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to park the car on, I assume, a residential street outside of a house.
You are as you pull up to where Hilldale is, it's under construction.
Fuck. Okay. Well then.
It's almost done. Like there's maybe a couple houses that are already complete, maybe have some people in it, but where like the house that you know, it looks like the house that is that one's probably under construction.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, I'm going to pull the car up alongside where the house is supposed to be. And I, let's see, it was November. Okay, so I put on my jacket and I sit and I wait and I play some preloaded games on my phone. Seeing if, or no, my phone's, I don't know. What's the energy source on my phone? Do I have to worry about that?
The battery?
Yeah, like for the one from 2016, the alternate future, you know?
From alternate future?
I mean, from I don't know, it's the current 2016.
You mean Kate's old phone?
No, I mean like, no, I mean the phone.
Futuristic phone.
Futuristic phone, yeah.
What about it?
Like, do I need to charge it, or does it like?
I think it still has a charge.
Okay, I mean, but like
no signal. There's nothing.
Sure. But like, is it gonna die on me, or does it like?
Maybe if you,
indefinitely.
If you're gonna be on, it'll eventually die on you.
Okay.
I think if you're gonna like play Minesweeper 2020 on it, you know, it'll like it'll
it's a very immersive game.
What are you talking about? Of course it's immersive. You put the thing in the goggles, like the Google goggles over your face, you're in a 3D.
I just said it was immersive, Doug. I wasn't being sarcastic.
Anyway, so
Marty Jr. regaled me at length about Minesweeper. 2020.
Okay, so
so I sit and I wait and I stake out and so when she falls out of thin air, I will be glowering at her, leaning against the DeLorean. That's my goal.
Okay. Let me look at your character sheet really quick.
Totally gonna fall asleep at some point.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a forceful if you want to stay awake.
Okay.
Tell us what you got.
I got a -1.
Okay.
So I feel so tired.
Yeah.
My cool goals of like leaning up at her. I think.
So are you outside the DeLorean?
I'm
okay,
not,
you're inside.
but I'm okay. Clearly, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just gonna lock the fucking doors and I'm gonna roll up in here and sleep. And if someone comes along, I'll be like, "Oops, sorry." I'll get going. I was just very tired and I pulled over.
Okay. So with that, you just you're like, man, I'm exhausted. Why would she come to midnight? That don't make sense. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm just asleep for maybe like, I'm going to set an alarm on my phone, like say, I don't know, an hour, let's just see what happens sort of thing. And you pass out.
Yeah. I like to assume, I like to hope that if she like does that and then sees the DeLorean outside, she's like, oh, I'd like to hope, but we'll see how much of a conniving troublemaker she's decided to be.
Next thing you know, you're feeling really warm, and it's because the sun is up and you're inside a car. You don't know what time it is. Well, it's certainly morning-ish. It doesn't look like it's noon or afternoon.
Okay.
You got the condensation on the outside of the windows and everything like that.
Okay. Well, I check the time circuits.
Time circuits can still turn on.
Would they? I mean, would they log the current time?
Yeah, November 27th, 1984. It's like 10:25 a.m.
Okay. Well, I go over to roughly where I think I get out of the car, and I go over to roughly where I think the refrigerator would be or would have been. And I look to see if there's any like scorch marks, footprints, anything suspicious.
No scorch marks, but you're detecting. Give me a clever. Let's see a clever because you're looking for any minute stuff.
That is a 3.
You think you see outlines of feet because if this is like under construction and the pavement is already paved for the garage, like the base or whatever, like there's just like sawdust and like just dirt, just from wind blowing or like whatever. You think you see outlines of feet leading out of the garage, but you don't see feet that landed in. So this is, and you thinking, yeah, she probably landed here, got up, walked away. I see feet leaving. I don't see feet coming in.
Fuck me. I don't know where Jennifer lives. I don't know where Marty lives. I don't know where the local post office is. But
you may have an idea of where some post offices are.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to start driving to what I think might be the nearest post office.
Okay.
And if I pass a kind of like any kind of place that seems like somewhere there'd be people who could tell me where the nearest post office is, if I don't get to a post office first, I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask for directions.
Okay. You can go. You're like, oh, this does seem risky driving the DeLorean around in broad daylight, but you don't really have, what other choice do you really have at this point?
Yeah, sure. It's just a cool, at least they know what a DeLorean is. That's a start.
Yeah, if a funky one. I'll say you drive away and you start trying to look for where you know a post office is. You're going to have to head closer to downtown Hill Valley. Not in downtown, but closer in that direction. Hilldale was kind of on the outskirts a bit,
Yeah.
And I'll say, yeah, you can eventually find a post office. Just one that you're like, oh, yeah, this was one that I remember in the 90s, in my 90s.
And I've been looking for Jennifer on every sidewalk.
Yeah.
And
you were born in 99, but like this has been established since the 90s,
Sure.
So
yeah.
you know.
Government property.
Exactly.
Stays government property.
Yeah. So you can walk in. Yeah, you can walk in. It just looks like a regular post office. You don't see Jennifer though.
Okay. Well, I asked any employee, like, hey, was there a woman in here at any point in time dressed like however she was dressed?
He's like, well, no, I don't think so. Sorry.
Okay. No problem. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm going to... Shit. I'm going to go to Doc Brown's.
Okay.
Because, man, I don't know. Like, there's a woman from the future who's trapped here, and I don't know how to fix that.
Okay.
Right? Because she will bounce... The idea would be that she would bounce back to the fridge. But the fridge is blown out, so that's just not going to happen. Right?
That's your estimation. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure about that. So the only person who knows where anybody is at this moment in time would be Doc Brown. In theory, because he knows Marty and because he knows Jennifer, and I don't know where either Marty or Jennifer live right now. And I understand the ramifications of being here in 1984. But I don't know.
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Oh wait. Phone books exist. Shit. Hey, do you folks have a phone book I could check real quick?
At the post office?
Yeah.
They're like, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. And something I could write on. I'm so sorry.
This is a post office. Yeah. Do you pick up the one attached to the chain? That's like
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give
Cool.
Paper. Yeah.
So
they'll give you like a blank envelope. You can write whatever you want on it.
What in the hell is Jennifer's last name?
I think you would probably know Parker.
Parker.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm not sure I would know that. She's a teenager. She wouldn't necessarily
be in the phone book
under her own name.
No,
so
no.
That's not going to
work.
She's not Sarah Connor.
Exactly.
But I know about George McFly. I know all about George McFly. So I can find the McFly household no problem.
How do you know about George McFly?
Because, Doc and Marty...
Oh, yeah, they would have told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. George McFly. Yeah, you would know that. Yeah, the McFly house. You know McFly. Yeah.
So, like, I just don't know where it is.
Yeah, you want to look up George McFly's?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find it in the phone book.
Okay. Shit. And so I've got the information.
You've got. I know. You know where Doc lives.
Yeah.
You know where the McFlys live.
Yeah.
You also got their phone numbers.
Yeah, and I know Jennifer probably thinks that if she even has any understanding how the fridge works, which she probably does, she thinks she's got 4 hours to send a letter, and I have to find her. Ugh. Communicating any of this is going to be impossible to the McFlys, because Marty doesn't know anything about time travel yet.
Correct.
I gotta go to Doc. But at least I've got that under my hat, so to speak. Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write a letter, and it's gonna read as follows: Dear Doc, this is Kate. We've often discussed about how every timeline that ends, or switches, or morphs via time travel may continue to exist of its own accord. ... In the event that is true, and that what I'm about to do does not overwrite or fix the situation that is currently unfolded... ... There is a Jennifer Parker in this timeline from the year 2025 who has come back in time via the, what do we call it?
Time chamber.
The time chamber to change the past, period. She is not malicious, comma, she simply did not take my advice, period. Unfortunately, the time chamber has malfunctioned. She thinks she can get back, and she can't, period. Take good care of her. If everything goes according to plan, none of this will matter. Love, Kate.
Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.
Yeah. Else time. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. What are you gonna?
I'm gonna
drop it in the mail for him.
I'm going to. He needs to get this letter ASAP.
You want to put it in his mailbox?
Yes, I'm going to pull the DeLorean around the corner of his house. I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna put the letter in his mailbox, and I'm going to run back.
Get the fuck away.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, that happens.
Okay. So, all right. It's the middle of the goddamn day.
Yep.
I've got a DeLorean.
Yep.
I'm going to drive out to the outskirts of town, where find a stretch of road where no one's around, and take the risk of being deemed a UFO because, whatever, no one believes that anyway.
Yeah. You don't have to go all the way up, or if you go up high enough, people may not notice, or if you go low enough, maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
Either way, however you want to do it.
Yeah. Away from any government surveillance.
In 84?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Project Blue Book was full in effect, I'm sure. And now I'm going to be a part of it. So here we go. And then just get the hell back to where the fuck I'm supposed to be. No thanks to Jennifer, for fuck's sake. I've also filled up Mr. Fusion with whatever garbage from.
I'm sure. Yeah,
there's plenty because people litter here as much as they do in the future. Apparently,
pretty given. Yeah.
Cool. So we are going to July 4th, 1886, 8:30 p.m. I guess I'll probably have been out near as close as I could be to where Lion Estates is and Clara's house and all that, and hope this all makes sense from a bird's eye view, but I think it will.
Okay. With that, you can lift off, and it's say you. I know you just said the date, but say it to me one more time just to make sure I got it here.
July 4th.
Yep.
1886, 8:30 p.m.
Yep, that makes sense.
I assume I'm going to arrive with the bang of a firework.
Yeah, hopefully. So, all right, you're kind of low, but not too high, and trying to avoid trees and power lines, but I'll say as you pop out, it's nighttime. It's hard to tell. You can see as your eyes are kind of adjusting. You're like, okay, there's no street lights, there's no nothing. So just be very carefully, kind of figure out what the heck's going on. In the distance, you hear fireworks starting to go off, and they're off in the sky. You're like, okay, as you turn in the DeLorean, you're like, okay, that's over Hill Valley, over Town Square. That's what that would be. So you're sort of adjusting, okay, let me take a look around. And as you kind of spin the car a little bit, you can see off, not on the horizon, but just a little bit in the distance. So you're pretty on target. That's Clara's homestead. You can see it. You can see the lights. So you start to hover over in that direction pretty smoothly. And one thing that you see that surprises you is that in addition to her house, it looks like they built a large barn in the back rear of the house. And as you approach, you see electric lights pop up on the corners, turn on the corners of this barn. And the barn, pod bay doors, opens up folding outward for you.
Kate cannot believe, like she is absolutely astounded, but like she gets the picture and down she goes.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
Bring it in nice and slow, right over it. And as you enter, this is a barn completely, obviously. And as you step out of the car, you can see that the doors are closing above you. Doc is inside cranking like a crank, it's manually operated. You can hear the fireworks in the distance over Hill Valley. So Doc is in there in a nice little Old West outfit. Clara is in there in a nice dress, visibly pregnant, and her jaw is on the floor. Like, this is insane. Like she's never seen anything like this. She saw the train, she saw the thing, kind of an explosion, boom. But this is a flying machine that just entered her barn.
Yeah.
And the door opens, on the side, and she steps out, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, Kate!" And she like hugs you, and it's just like a child is aghast, just like completely like what? She's at a loss for words, and Doc looks very proud of himself as he closes up the thing as it seals shut above you.
I hug her back. I'm like, hey, wow, yeah, it's a time machine. and wow, like I have to like kind of like I'm like hugging like around her pregnant stomach, like wow, like this is how far in are you? What would be like?
Oh, we're 7 months, so pretty soon. Expecting it pretty soon.
Okay, hey, I lean against the DeLorean. I'm like, nothing is ever easy. Doc, do you have all of your memories from the 1980s, right?
Of course. I mean, it was only about a year ago, year and a half, almost 2 years. Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, sometimes I'm not 100% sure like how time travel works. Do you remember? Did you ever get a letter from me in 1984?
No, I recall seeing you. No, there's 50, 56, 50. No, I remember sending you back to 1985, and I picked you up the night after Marty returned.
Okay, yes, and that's true, and that happened. Okay, well, Doc. Yeah. Okay. So, wow. We've got.
I'm packed, ready to go. You just have to tell me where we're headed. If you've got the information, we can head to wherever and make these adjustments. We can prevent the Fusion Industries and all of it put together. I'm set. I have some spare clothes for you just in case. We're well prepared.
That's amazing, Doc. I just. Can we sit down for a second?
Of course, there's no need for a rush. We know where we're going.
Yeah. Okay, as long as there's no need for a rush here, then great. We've got all the time in the world. Okay. Sorry, I'm a bit wiped out. I only got a few hours of sleep, and but there's a weird little wrinkle. So I've got all the details. And I slide them over.
Excellent.
Like the everything. I've got it all. Thanks to Jennifer, she really helped out. But there's a couple things. So There's an event that happens in 2021 called the Trash Storm, and it has something to do with everything that we're dealing with. It apparently pollution increased, like some combination of littering in the skyways and global climate change turned into a series of massive storms that chucked like tornadoes of trash that decimated the world in a way. And just really, I mean, like, lots of people died. It's basically a global catastrophe that doesn't, like, it's not like all the Mr. Fusion's exploding, but it's really bad. And Marty dies from it due to, like, pollution, which is obviously awful. But because of the crisis and the cleanup, that's why there's so many Mr. Fusions. It's not just there's one in every home. It's that there's Mr. Fusion, like, reclamation facilities, gigantic trash compacting, deatomizing or whatever facilities all over the world that
unfortunately that all lines up with what I knew from when we were in 2049. The history of trash getting out of control and these recycling plants, it all having the Fusion Industries logo, it all lines up.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure how much you knew or not.
I haven't seen it, but if it's as bad as you're describing, that's
Doc. It's so bad that that the DeLorean and I landed in the middle of a reclamation facility. It was crazy. But here's the thing. So there's a little problem, and hopefully it's only a little problem. Jennifer, the poor lady, she's really brokenhearted, and she wanted to give me a letter that was going to, like, I guess, like, potentially jumpstart Marty's music career, which never took off the way she or he expected it to. And I turned her down. I tried to explain why that was, like, not a great idea.
Oh, that's thinking fourth dimensionally. That I'm proud of you for doing so.
And then I didn't realize it, but inside the garage, that's where Marty had moved the time chamber, and she used it. She, like, as soon as I, like, she acted like everything was fine. She turned around and she used it, and she went back to November 27th, 1984. And that would be all good and well, except that the time chamber was, like, combusted afterwards, so it's broken, so she can't go back. So unbeknownst, she doesn't know it, but she's trapped in November 27th, 1984. I went looking for her, and I couldn't find her. But I left you a letter cautioning that there's a Jennifer from another timeline wandering around.
Great Scott. That certainly complicates things. We'll have to, you don't know. And she's wandering on in 1984, just doing something.
Yeah, I have no idea where or how. I tried to track her down. I know between certain hours, I parked the car along the street so she would see, like, oh, Kate's tracked me here, but I was running on no sleep and I fell asleep. So between the hours of midnight and when did I wake up?
Like 10:30ish.
And 10:30 a.m. She showed up, clearly saw that I was there, and decided to disappear. So,
I don't know what will happen once those 4 hours are up of when she arrives versus, if the time chamber is out of commission or otherwise destroyed, I don't know if she'll still disappear on time or if she'll stick around. It's not good. Either way, this is very bad.
Yeah, it's not great. But the thing is, if we're in the business of going to, I don't know what your plan was. If we're meant to go to all these timelines, one of them is, or different times to take care of these different dates and so on. One of them is 1984. So maybe two birds, one stone. But it's a thing.
Well, let me take a look. So he'll look over the notes, and he says, yeah, it would appear that we can do most of the work in 1984 by making some of the adjustments in that time, and also possibly in 1985, and with the creation of Fusion Industries later on, we can let my future self deal with Fusion Industries in that time. But I think first and foremost, if we can get to 84 and figure out what's happening with Jennifer and also taking care of the rest of our investments there, it's the only sensible direction at the moment.
Doc, it's rough. She's a wreck, and
why did she choose 1984? She's to deliver a letter.
It didn't, honestly, Doc. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. It sounded like a desperate person, and the feeling I got is that Marty, in spite of everything that they've been through, in spite of her having time travel and everything else, like, she seems to feel, I think she's a bit disenfranchised. I don't think she really understands, like Marty didn't talk about any of this. She didn't know about Clara. Like, he didn't tell her anything. She's just kind of been there as this, like, accessory who didn't get to know anything about this, and as a result, she's, with the death of her husband and everything,
what? Marty passed away?
I told you this, Doc. The trash storm. He died of pollution.
I thought... Oh, goodness.
I didn't mean Marty Jr. I meant Marty Sr. He died of pollution from the trash storm.
Of course. Yes. That makes more sense, and I just never thought I would ever have to hear that. Okay.
Hey, it hasn't happened yet, and if we do our job, it won't.
Of course, yes. And that makes more sense why she would want to go back to make those changes for her husband. Yes. That's awful. We can do we need to prepare anything? Or should we leave?
I mean, honestly, Doc, I slept in a car for like a little while, so like I can get up and go and I can do whatever. We've been in worse scraps than this, but
if you want to take the time to catch up on some sleep, we don't have to leave right away. Maybe
Yeah,
I can devise a plan. We can figure out how to spend our time wisely once we're there.
Where are we going? Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're occupying these times, like obviously we can't overlap with you. Once we get there? Where are we going?
Well, if it's 1984, I'm most likely going to be home in the lab, and depending on the exact date, which did you tell him the exact date yet?
I did, yeah.
Okay. He says I'm going to have to check. I'm going to think about where I may have been on that particular day. Most likely, I'm just going to be working in the lab, putting the finishing touches on the DeLorean time vehicle. As long as we can avoid that, I feel we will be pretty safe. I certainly can't make too much of an appearance downtown. I will have to go to the courthouse to get a probate to prove that I am inheriting all of the stocks and the estate that I have established here and now in 1985, 1986. So that'll be taking up a little bit of time, but not too complicated. I have all the papers that I need to prove it. I mean, I'm signing them all myself. It's very strange, but I feel that is not... It's not too complicated. I foresee no trouble with that. Just a matter of taking up some time. During that time, if you want to maybe investigate Hill Valley, take a look around, try and think if you were Jennifer in that future, you wanted to come back to a time when things seemed nicer, and she sees this as a pivotal moment in both of their lives.
Yeah. No, I
well,
and they won't know me, so I can blend in. But But
you get some rest. I'll draft up some plans.
Okay. I just for continuity's sake, since I woke up in the middle of the day and everything, I did eat all of the pizza.
Okay. Yeah, but having only a little bit of sleep, whatever, and it's like 8:30ish, almost 7 o'clock now.
Right. I mean, and like I said, I could keep going, but I'm kind of like let me get my sea legs.
A lot has happened.
It's been a lot in a very little span of time, and Kate's like, I don't know, dizzy really from all of it.
And as you try to leave the barn, Clara, who hasn't really been, she's been giving you some space, because you're talking with, Doc about some serious things. You see she brings up a little toy version model of it that says Time Machine on it, and she's like, Emmett, it was perfect, look at this. And she's just completely like this, and he's like, yes, Claire, very good. Yeah, I'm fine. It's not exactly perfect, but he just starts to make concessions about that the size of it's not exactly to perfect proportions. But with that, he's going to start to talk to her and try to give her an update on what to expect, and it says that you're going to be sleeping for a little bit, and you'll either head out in the morning or maybe sometime much earlier in the morning, depending on when you would.
Yeah, I mean, we can whenever it's still dark out here, I guess. Like
probably, yeah, at the latest, probably before sunrise is the best.
Yeah.
The best chance. What do you think? You want to just sleep for a couple hours? Like, you determine the pace of this. How you'd like this to go?
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, it's hard to get to sleep. So but I'm gonna try, because we have a work cut out for us, and I want to make sure that we're able to start and go and
Sure.
And we have this is an opportunity to be outside of time with no ticking clock stopping us from doing anything. So I guess until we can head out at 4 a.m. or something, probably.
Okay.
And yeah. If Doc, that's okay with Doc, because I mean I'm sure he's really destabilized too. I don't know if he can sleep. I want to make sure that we're both well rested. It's not about me.
He says whatever it takes. So if you want to, he says I can take a little sort of micro nap. It's no problem. Just meet me in the barn when you're ready.
Okay. Well, I do that. I get myself sort of put back together and have a look at what Doc mentioned, some clothes. I don't know what he.
Yeah, he had it packed. Yeah, it's in the barn. The barn isn't really for animals. You're realizing it's sort of like a second laboratory.
Right.
So after
he was implying clothes for both of us. Is that what he was, or was it meant for him, or
for both of you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess once I've slept, then I'll see what exactly he what the plan was there exactly, and get a change, because I've been in these for a while.
Okay. When you head back into the barn, the gull-wing door of the DeLorean is open, and he is in the driver's seat, and he appears to just be asleep in the driver's seat, like catching a power nap there.
All right. Hey, Doc.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It just
okay.
There's a lot riding on this.
know.
What time is it? And he reaches into his pocket watch and he pulls it out and he says, "Oh, all right, very well. I started to fall asleep about 20 minutes ago. I think I'm good to go."
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so am I. So let's change the future.
I've been experimenting with this new sleep pattern to see if I could work throughout the night, and it's been successful so far. It's only been for about a month or so, but I feel fine. I'm ready. And so he opens up.
You say so, Doc.
He opens up these trunks and says, "There's a mixture of clothing in here. I tried to get something that looked as modern as possible with other sensibilities. You already seem okay. Is there any?" And there are some older clothes that he has from when from his 1980s like stuff.
Oh.
Like he has a suitcase. He has one suitcase that he's going to be bringing with the DeLorean that has. I mean, it's men's clothes. It's Doc's clothes, but
right.
They're 1980s clothes. They might be a little big and baggy on you, but they're just part of the selection of however you want to deal with this.
I guess if some like my relative like Western outfits are still around or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like if I assume. I mean, I guess suppose the context here is that whatever this is, these are 1880s clothes or Doc's hand-me-downs that are definitely not going to fit me.
Mm-hmm. There's probably like a windbreaker or other light sweater jacket from 1980s that he has.
Yeah.
That if you put it over your Western clothes that you're currently wearing, no one would really be the wiser.
Yeah. So I'll just like change my Western clothes for the other Western clothes that I already like probably stuff that of mine that he's got packed here from like a few months prior.
Just for this purpose.
Yeah. So I'll change out into something less ludicrous or less messy and make it not ludicrous and just just be casual until I get things to really blend in with.
No problem. Are you going to mix and match that with with an 80s coat or jacket?
Yeah, if he's got a jacket, I'll just just blend in.
I'm just assuming just so that if someone looks at you, it's not like 17-year-old girl in a buttoned-up shirt. It's just that there's something else.
Well,
going on.
I suppose there's 17-year-old girl in a button-up shirt could look completely normal.
Yeah, you pop that collar up. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll go for that. Roll up the sleeves.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think you're ready to go. So Clara comes out. Heard you moving about, so she comes out to see both of you off.
Yeah.
He says, I think I know how we can plan this once we arrive. The key is to just sort of keep your head on a swivel. If you see another version of me walking around, just try to avoid me. I don't foresee it being a problem. Just I'm going to stay aware. You should stay aware.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in and out of the courthouse as fast as I can.
And if you see a 50-something-year-old version of Jennifer, let's get her.
Of course.
Claire, we'll see you real soon. I'll take good care of him.
Yeah. She says, "How long do you think you'll be?" And he says, "Clara, we'll be back in 60 seconds." And she's just all smiles of just like how she loves this guy. Like it's just like it's and this and he gives her a nice gentle warm hug, gives her a kiss. He'll hand her his pocket watch. He's like, "Just keep the roof open, and by the time this comes full circle, I'll be back."
Bye.
And you get ready to go. And so, Doc, you have the date now. Need to be careful about exactly when you left and everything. Because when you were looking around, you didn't see her. He's gonna look at the time of when you left, and we'll arrive like maybe 5 minutes later just to be safe. And
well, here's what I'm Doc.
You have a thought?
Here's what I'm thinking. Like, it's a bit risky, but I'm asleep from midnight until 10:30. There's no reason that we couldn't. I mean, either we let older Jennifer run amok and potentially mail a letter that's going to change her reality, or we manage to intercept her before we don't know where she is anymore, like right when she comes out. I mean, I'm well rested now. I could just, stake it out from a different vantage point, and I'm not going to wake up because I didn't wake up.
You didn't wake up because there was nothing else there that might draw attention or disturb you. I agree that we should try to keep this as limited and localized as possible. However, if Jennifer of the future believes that she only has 4 hours to make this trip, she shouldn't arrive too early before a post office would open. Like, why arrive 4 hours before something would open? As you said, she needs a stamp. If she needs to get a way to drop this letter in the mail, she'll have to arrive probably closer to 10 o'clock to make sure the things are open and that she can find a place to drop this in the mail.
And I woke up at 10:30.
Yes. So also in addition to that, obviously if we can stop her before she does that, all the better. If I can, as quickly as possible, try to make those adjustments and talk to the trying to get that probate so I can make the adjustments on the stock market. Perhaps if I can adjust the change to prevent the trash storm of 2021 before you even get a chance to meet up with Jennifer, she may go back to where she came from.
Right, she'll just disappear.
So
it won't have ever happened.
We're coming at this from two directions.
Yeah.
I believe we will succeed. It's just a matter of which can we do first and safely but most importantly, without detection of ourselves.
Yeah.
Jennifer is just herself. She knows who and what to avoid if she wanted to. On the other hand, we're walking into this not quite certain.
Yeah. In the short term, I don't know how much of a threat she poses exactly, because even her idea about the record company and everything, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I'm not sure I don't know. Not to sell her short, but I'm just not sure I'm not sure that she could do too much real damage in a short time before we manage to figure out where the hell she is. So, yeah. Okay. Let's get you to the courthouse. That seems important.
So, he's in the driver's seat. He'll take off, waving goodbye to Clara. Pan out, start moving away from Hill Valley. Gets us up to 88 miles per hour. And headed for, like, I'd say, 10 minutes after you originally left 1984. And as he takes, comes in down for a landing, it's not too far, because, again, this is sort of on the outskirts and stuff. He's going to find, like, a nice road where there's some trees near like, a neighborhood, like a Hilldale-style neighborhood. And he's going to start driving on the road. I mean, it's still, like, kind of in the morning, but he's obviously very self-conscious that they're on this road where other cars could be passing by. People might just give it a weird look, but he says, I realize we should probably get this off the road into a safe space. Do you know anywhere we could probably park this thing so we could walk into town and where we could keep this thing safe in the meantime? If I lock it, take the keys with us.
Hey, this is your time more than it is mine. But we had a sick base at a garage, but I think that it's probably still a garage at the time, and which means that I don't think would be available to us. We could drive by it and see if it's open or not, and then
let me roll the dice on this. Okay, I rolled a 1, so I'm gonna say that it's actually open for business. It's not So the doc is gonna say no that's I know that place, it's open. I can't purchase it if it's still in working order. So
well. And we've had some very bad luck hanging out inside of houses and being developed on garages that don't belong to us. So,
if I can get us there without getting detected by the police or anyone stopping us and pulling us over, it's still early enough in the morning. We could go to my second lab. If I'm up at the main house,
you have a second lab? Where?
I do believe you've been in the second lab once before. Maybe it was in the distant future. I don't recall exactly. I do believe you've been there, but again, this is a little confusing in terms of like, you can't go to his lab because he still has like, it's just that little garage, by the Burger King.
Yeah.
But if he's talking about a second lab, and you're like, oh yeah, you remember he had mentioned this before. I even as the DM don't remember when, because it's fucking all crazy now. But he says if we can get to the second lab, if I wouldn't be working there, I'd be working in the main lab. So let's try that. I think we parked it there during the day. I have no reason to go to the second lab unless I had a catastrophe and backup. So let's check that out.
Okay.
So he'll head over. It's sort of on the outskirts of town, around some housing developments, but not doesn't. It's pretty well out of sight. You guys can pull up and park, and he can open the garage door to it and park inside. And yeah, there's workbenches and stuff like that. This is clearly Doc's. He clearly owns it. Not a lot happening in here. He feels this would be safe enough. And from here, either we can call a taxi or we can just walk into downtown.
You got any bikes?
Let me roll. Yeah, he actually Yeah, he does. He has a bike. I'll say he definitely has one bike. One does not have air, but if you want, we can pump up the air in the tires.
Yeah. How about you taxi to the courthouse and I'll try to surveil things, like, because that is what we're doing right now, right? Like he's taking care of things at the
Yes,
courthouse, and
yeah.
and I'm just trying to figure out the Jennifer's problem.
Sure.
Okay. And this is what day of the week is this?
This is a Tuesday,
Okay.
but it's around holidays, so you're not sure if there's going to be class or not. You assume class would be in session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Doc, do you got any like 1980s money around this place?
Of course, for just such an emergency, he'll go and he goes rifling through some drawers, and he pulls out like a stack of money, several tens, a couple 20s, and like a dozen singles.
Cool. Okay. Cool. My plan is to like get a new wardrobe and then get over.
That case, he thumbs a few more 20s in there, just so you're covered. He's got to be completely covered in case Freddy and all, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that, obviously, but I also need to, like, I don't know, not look like a hobo if that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Doc is dressed kind of similarly. Like, he just sort of has, like, a plain button-up shirt, dark pants. He is wearing, like, boots, but not cowboy boots, just like with the pants that go over the boots.
I think he's ready to go to the courthouse. He just look a little old-fashioned.
And he's probably got, like, a members-only jacket on, like, on top of it, from his bag.
Yeah.
He might rifle through some more stuff to see if there's any other change of clothes, but it doesn't really matter. He'll pick up the phone, and he'll call for a taxi, and he'll head out as soon as it arrives. If you want to head out on the bike, up to you, however you want to do this.
Heading out on the bike. And I will... What time is it? It's like 11-ish or something?
Almost 11, yeah.
Okay. I mean, poor Jennifer. I'm going to head into town, and if I pass any, like, seemingly, like, youth-oriented clothing shops, great. Otherwise, I'll settle for a Kmart or whatever big box kind of suburban options present themselves. I headed towards downtown in Hill Valley in the 80s. I'm not really sure what to expect.
Yeah. So as you... Doc has, like, he's already made the phone call. He's waiting for the taxi. You've got the bike all dusted off, ready to go. So you can get on a bike and you start pedaling on your way to downtown Hill Valley.
Thanks for listening to Kate Was Here. To support this and other surprise RPG experiences, head to patreon.com/omniverse media.